And we are live. Welcome to another Thirsty Thursdays, where we are going to share some tips and tricks and just talk about what we've used in class and things that we found useful. So today we have with us James. I don't know if you want to quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm James, and I like to do really techie things, but today I'm doing something that other teachers really love, particularly those who are fairly new to Google. So I thought I'd go with something nice and simple that I can share that you can use in your classroom tomorrow.
Great. And we also have Gary with us.
Hi, good evening. I'm Larry from the Philippines, sharing some basic tips but not one for those who are using Google Docs.
And before this, we had a perfect internet connection. Now it's okay. I'm sure it'll come back in a minute. We also have Wes, who is currently driving. Wes, do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Sure, my name's Bilski. I'm driving through Bangkok traffic, and if I get home anytime soon, I can show you something kind of cool that I've learned.
Okay.
We would stress Wesley is hands-free.
Thank.
Hopefully not hands-free on the steering wheel.
I hope so. I hope so. We can keep an eye on him. We can keep an eye on him. Right. I think I'll start off. I've got something just a little bit more techy, but I do think it's worth sharing. We are working on our report cards, and it's been a huge time saver, and I think it's also going to save you some time. So let me just quickly share my screen. Do you all see that? Does everyone see my
Yeah, I can see your screen.
drive?
Good.
Okay, so
Yes,
I've got a folder, and this folder is called multi-copy doc, and inside that folder I've got a document called an example report card. And what I want to do is I actually want to have 20 copies of this document. Now, I could right-click and make a copy, but if I do that 20 times, I'll still be here tomorrow. So instead, what I wanted to share is a brilliant little script written by Alice Keeler. And you can find a lot more scripts on the website, alicekeeler.com. And it's basically a copy doc script. So I've got the link right here, tinyurl.com/copydocScript. So feel free to go to that website. You'll then find the script, and you'll have to obviously make your own copy so you can make adjustments to that script. So go ahead and make a copy. You will now have your very own copy of that script. So I'm going to close the original, and I'll keep the copy open. And we are now going to change the script to do what we want it to do. So as I said, I want 20 copies, so I'm going to change this little 30 into 20. You can change this into whatever number you need. So I want 20 copies, so I've changed it to 20. And then you will see right here we have the ID. Now, where do I get that ID from? So let's say I want to copy this document up here in my URL. I've got the ID, so I'm going to copy this, Control-C, and I'm going to paste it into my script, Control-V. As you can see, very basic code, very simple. I've done everything I need to do, and I am now going to run this script. I'm running the script, and I'll open the drive so you can see what happens. As the script is running, it is going to start creating copies. Now, I would suggest giving it about a minute, maybe 2 minutes for the script to run. So obviously I need to authorize it. Sorry about that. Continue. Give it permission. Okay, and it's now going to start running. There we go. Let's go to my drive, and you will see there they are. 1 copy, 2 copies, and another 4, and it will create 20 copies of that same document. There we go. And as you can see, it's actually a lot faster than expected, and this saves you a lot of time. And that's it. Hope that's
a very nice
helpful.
And actually, it is
That's
really easy to use because it's really well documented. I mean, I don't think it's any more difficult than just a little copy and paste job, really, isn't it, for anybody who's new to.
Exactly, and if you do need more information, I mean, just go to the website alicekeeler.com, follow the tiny URL, and she's got screenshots, everything lined out.
Yeah.
So even if you're a bit less techy or if you're not interested, you can do it.
Yes.
I mean, just follow the instructions and you'll be fine.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's excellent.
So yeah, would you use it? And
I was
would you
just
share it
looking-
with your teachers?
I was just looking at it. I was debating whether actually something like Autocrat might do a better job.
Yeah, I can make use of that one.
Actually organize your reports and everything for you. So I don't know. It depends how many copies I need of things.
Yeah.
But I think for doing that very specific thing, I think it could be very useful for something. But also, what I like about it is it's good to introduce the kids to a bit of coding because it's fun, isn't it?
And it's I mean, it's so simple. It's
Yeah. It's a great example of a little script that'll make life a bit easier for people.
Correct.
Very nice.
Okay, I think next up is James.
Very good. Oh, thank you very much. Now, I'm at the opposite end of the spectrum today. I wanted to show you something that one of my far less technical colleagues was like, wow, you could do that. That's amazing. It's like the best thing ever. And I was like, oh, just normal stuff. But actually, what's normal to you is really interesting to other people. So here we go. Without further ado, I'm going to press some buttons and I'm hoping to share my screen. So here we go. Okay, I'm sharing screens. Can you see something? Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so today's lesson, 2nd of March 2016, was a few days old. Review of your lesson today. First name, last name, pretty much optional actually if you're recording their IDs, but I just like to be able to see my kids' names quickly. Objectives, and all I do is I quickly change the objectives to be able to identify what a list is. Did you understand it or did you completely understand it? To be able to construct statements using those concepts. Did, didn't. To be able to create programs with those concepts. Did, didn't. How successful have you been today? How much effort have you been made? What do you need help with? And then you just got a future. Now, just to give you an idea what that looks like to the student, here's what it looks like. They just fill this in. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes and they can instantly do it. So just a very nice, lovely, simple idea that you can share with your friends, share with your colleagues, no problem at all. And I'm just going to press the secret combination and you too can have a copy. I just going to put it in the chat. Is there a chat function here?
There should be a chat function, yeah. There we go.
Just pop it in the chat function.
And we can add it to the description later. I'll do the same, by the way, with the Alice
Yeah.
Keeler website.
I can't find the chat. Oh, there it is, top left corner. So I just add that link in. Should be all right.
Yeah, we've got it.
Have a look. I think the security is okay. Just want to check that detail. Setting.
Okay. Well,
Can you
thank you for
use that?
sharing. What's that?
Can you actually use it?
Let me open it.
Yeah, just check it outside.
You have to grab.
No, I need to request permission.
Okay,
have
let
to
me
give us
just give me a second. I'll just
Yeah.
anyone with a link. That should do it. Okay, try again one more time. Okay.
Right, let me check. Yeah. Yeah,
Good.
we've got access. Okay, we can make a copy. Perfect.
Yeah, that's it. So you got view only access, so you can grab a copy and share it with anybody you wish.
We'll share that in the links below, so that's no problem. Okay,
always
great.
thought-
I think really good. I mean, perfect self-assessment.
Yes.
Really good. Definitely worth using. And again, yeah, basic, but a lot of teachers might not be aware of this. So
Yeah,
thank you for sharing.
and the thing is, they don't even have to make their own Google form. They can just edit the one and copy it as many times as they need.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I think next up is Gary. And Gary, I think you'll have to give Wes another 10-15 minutes to get home.
Okay. It's okay. We can talk about what we have presented after I present
Yeah,
my
exactly.
tip. Okay. Okay. So let me share my screen for a while. So what I'm going to share is basically, oh wait, where is that? Basically about Google Docs. How can we maximize the use of Google Docs, wherein for especially for those who are conducting research, or for example you want to type, you want the text of a photo from a photo, instead of typing it, you can just put it in document. So for example, can you see my screen right now?
Yep.
Okay, so for example, I have here a photo by Albert Einstein, and let's say I'm you know I don't like to type it again. So instead of retyping it, just put it in your Google Drive. And while it is highlighted, you can just click this more actions and then open with Google Docs. What it will do is it will insert the photo in the document, and then it will type everything in the image as a text inside the document itself. So, oh, as you can see, here is the. Okay, wait. Let's just wait for it. So we have here the. So this is actually an image. I have selected it. And then below the image is the text that is from the image. So you don't have to type it. So this may be very simple, but for example, you have another one, a PDF file. So a PDF file, you can just highlight it and then copy. But you can also do a similar way by highlighting it and then click more actions and then open with Google Docs, and you should see the text from the PDF file, the text from the PDF file, and it's now editable. So it's in your Google Drive and it's in your Google Doc now. So you don't have to copy and paste it. Google Drive will do it for you by highlighting and then open with Google Docs. Very simple, but very useful. That's it.
Wow.
Okay. There
Very
we go.
useful indeed.
Okay, so I'm done. Is okay. That's my son.
That's it. He's up for it.
I'm. Yep.
Hey Gary, I can take over next. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, this is okay. This is new.
Cool.
Can you guys hear me
Presenting
okay?
from the.
Hold on. Let me just turn your volume up a bit.
Can you hear me okay right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah? Awesome. Well, it is. I am really close to home. About 1 minute, I'll be there. You might be able to hear the rumbling of my engine as I drive through my neighborhood here. But there is something I do want to share that I've been discovering and learning, and the more that I'm discovering about it, I want to do more research about it. Now that I've been doing a lot of research, I don't do a lot of share about it, and I think that I'm going to be doing a lot of workshops in the future about it. The whole idea is around what design thinking is, which I've been doing a lot of reading about. I don't know. Do you guys read about design thinking? Have you done any workshops or heard about it before?
Is that design thinking?
Yeah. Have you guys done workshops on it, or kind of been
No,
tuned
but
in? I wonder.
I see there's a great upcoming workshop in the next Deep in Bangkok. So if you're in Southeast Asia, you might want to come and check that out.
Yeah. Well,
Deep learning.
well, what I'm wondering too is that I'm wondering, like, am I behind the ball? Like, has design thinking been around for a while, and like I'm just getting on the bandwagon?
A couple of years, I reckon. A couple of years. I saw a workshop on it last year at 21st Century Learning, and it was very good. And I think that idea of putting people first, I think it goes back a bit further than that, to the idea of the marketing-centered company, you know, where you think about the people first and that informs your entire practice. So
Yeah.
I think it's one of those ideas that's been around for a long time, but has actually got refined into a good framework.
Yeah, and I think it's been refined into a good framework, not just for businesses and creating new technology,
Yeah,
but innovating education. And I think innovating in general, because we use these words like, you know, we're innovating and we're transforming learning, you know, and I don't know if we've actually figured out, okay, what does that actually mean if I transform? What does
yeah,
that mean if I innovate? Yeah, it's true. Like, I can give some examples of me innovating because I'm doing some new things with Google products, you know. But
yeah,
once you get to a point, you might say, like, all right, so how do I innovate?
yeah,
You know, what does that mean? And now I've been doing a lot of reading about what Stanford has been doing. They have a whole design school, and
yeah.
what they're saying is that innovation can actually be taught, and that, like,
Okay.
if someone's not sure like how to innovate, well, you can actually like teach them, and they got like
Well,
all of these neat methods, and it comes out of design thinking, like what you're
yeah,
saying, James, about empathizing with your audience, you know, coming
yeah,
up with a question, ideating, prototyping, and then testing it out,
yeah,
which is the main idea of design thinking, and going back and forth with all the different steps. But you know, I think it does take these kind of workshops and opportunities to work with other people to kind of talk about what does it mean, you know, to design something new.
yes,
And
Well, in a sense, it goes back to your basic lesson plans. I mean, it's really you're designing your lesson. You're
yeah,
designing, you know, you're designing a presentation, or you're designing your lesson, and you look at your lesson. You know, you've got your 50 minutes. You look at your lesson as a product, as a presentation,
yeah,
rather than just, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to teach, and I'm going to walk out.
yeah.
No, this is, you know, this is a product. You know, you want it to be the best you can. So, no, it definitely.
definitely, for sure. You know, and I think we can find a lot of different like connections with different methodologies on developing lesson plans. You know, such as like UBD and anything that IB does, or you know, like a
Yes,
lot of what educators are trying to do when they design a unit. You know,
yes,
uh, but I think like what design thinking's doing is they're taking like ideas of like how do I design like an engine, an airplane,
yes,
you know, like a computer, right? Because that's really
yes,
design thinking. They're
yes,
solving a problem in a business, you know, and trying to take all of those ideas that all these guys in, you know, California are trying to come up with all these ideas with Post-it notes, you know,
yes,
and say like, well, let's just do that as educators and talk about how we can come up with innovations for students to reach their maximum potential, or you
yes,
know, go through their maximum potential and set a new boundary level because of
yes.
this innovation. You know, maybe
I mean, I think
the
actually
problem is
one
the
of the
fact
things
that
that's
we're
interesting is
not
that it's
breaking.
very much about student-centered, isn't it? Putting that student back in the center.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. I mean, because we do get I get bogged down with using a lot of technology sometimes, and
Mm,
or trying to use something new or something, and I forget about you know, what does it really mean for the kids, and what's the purpose? I guess I think the purpose is trying to reach kids with their maximum potential. And then, you know, Davis Apis came up with some good ideas that I've also been taking alongside this whole idea of design thinking, is saying, okay, how can we actually get our minds out of the ordinary style of thinking so we're actually going to be innovating?
yeah,
And he was talking about, well, first off, if we're going to come up with new ideas, we have to start off with coming up with really bad ideas.
okay,
and,
yeah,
and it's all
Yeah.
about like if you think of a really bad idea, it's going to make you not think about stuff that you do normally, because what you do
yeah,
normally is probably a good idea. That's why you do it. But if
yeah,
you think of a bad idea, that's going to spark creativity and imagination and break you out of the mold.
yes,
And then what you try and do is you try and take that bad idea and then turn it into a good idea. And
yes,
there's lots of examples of that, like in business that we've seen, like the iPad. When they
yeah,
first said they're going to bring out the iPad, they were like, we are going to take the iPhone and take away functionality and just make it bigger. And, I mean, for me, I was like, that's going to be a flop, you know. and now
Yeah.
it's like transformed education in a whole new way, right? Like
Yeah.
some of these ideas that seemed like a bad idea, were able to be turned around into a really the best idea because they were.
Definitely. I mean, it's the same with the Chromebooks. Oh, all cloud device.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea.
Right, you're gonna do everything in the cloud. Nothing else. So, but it works.
Well, that's an idea that they've been trying to pull off for 20 years,
I think like deep
They're
conversations
finding
like
it good
this,
enough to do it.
deep conversations like this have to keep on happening. We got to keep on thinking of ways that we can actually innovate, and put the students first. And I think having these conversations and trying to brainstorm and come together, like we are kind of doing each Thursday like this,
Yes.
is really important. To keep us
Definitely.
moving forward and not plateau.
And also, I like what you said earlier about sometimes you lose track of the actual goal because you're trying to use all these new tools and all these new technologies, but really it's, as an educator, it's going back to using the right tool for the right task. You might not, you don't always want to use technology. You don't always want to use the latest gimmick or the latest app, or sometimes what you've got is the best thing there is to teach that or to do that task.
Yes.
And I think that's something that, especially, I mean, this is probably more for us, being a bit geeky and a bit into tech and all, that we need to remind ourselves of is like you don't necessarily always need the latest app. Maybe what you've got is working for you and it's working for your students, and the way you do it works. Now, on the other hand, if it doesn't work, don't be afraid to change it. Change it. If it's not working, then don't carry on. So yeah, I like that. I mean, it's definitely something worth remembering.
But we
lost Wesley. But I mean, I think that's it. And what I love about this design thinking is putting the student in the center if we do it on that principle.
Absolutely.
So I think that again is important. And think about what's relevant to the students is something that should always be central to our lessons. I know we've all got curriculum sometimes we have to follow, particularly when we're in exam years, but other than that, we should be teaching stuff because it's relevant and interesting to the students.
Exactly. I mean, curriculum or not, it's the student comes first, and it's all about your student and differentiating so that your student actually gets to the point you want them to get.
Yeah.
And then that's where your curriculum comes in. Okay, it can be a guidance, but really the student has to come first. I mean.
Well, it does. And as I say, until you hit year 10 and 11 in secondary.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a lot of freedom. You can do what you need. And, we would not be in our business if we didn't believe in our subjects.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yep. So there's my slamma jamma, what I've been researching recently, and what I'd like to do after I do some more research is do what Stanford is doing.
Yeah.
They have a 90-minute, and what's really neat is you can watch all their stuff and read their stuff, but then they provide all of their workshop materials.
Yeah.
So you can run the same workshops that they've been running with their
nice.
Stanford graduates and graduate students. And yeah, I'd like to do that. And they have about a 90-minute one that, I think would be neat to do with my staff. And then after that happens, I think then it's the opportunity for the students and have them come up with what are the problems with start with the problem, and then you can go back to empathizing about, all right, what's the audience? You can come up with ideas, make a prototype, test it out, pitch it to the principal and try to solve school-wide problems. And I think that would, that's just kind of teaching kids how to innovate. I mean, we need to teach ourselves how to remember how to innovate and stay on top of things and design education in the right way, right?
Yeah.
Just flip it right around and say, like, hey, kids, we want to teach you how to be innovative as well.
Yeah.
Boom.
Good. Very good. Do we have anyone else who wants to respond to that, or?
No, I think Wesley has definitely rounded the night out for us.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you everyone for sharing. And again, we'll be back with even more Thirsty Thursdays. And it's all about sharing. So if anyone is watching this and you want to join the next one, let us know. join the communities. You know, we've got the GGs. Join the website. Leave a comment below, and you will get the link, and then you can start sharing as well. So thank you, Wesley. Thank you, James. Thank you, Gary.
Pleasure as always.
And we are going to go offline now in 3, 2, 1. Thank you for watching.